Hello, Internet friends. I have heard that the governor of Virginia threatened to cut off cell phone service and electricity to anybody who will not comply with his gun grab. I looked it up. I couldn't find anything. I'm not going to doubt that maybe it is true. Why would something like that be leaked? People are paranoid, and I don't blame them. And then I looked up Northam and see if he would say anything like that. I highly doubt he would say anything that extreme. And then that whole National Guard comment, Northam didn't say that. That was somebody else saying, well, the governor has the right to use the National Guard, sort of that veiled threat and suggestion. And I don't know, Northam didn't deny it, that he never denied that he would use the National Guard to come and take people's guns, and he didn't confirm it either. But I mean, something as big as that, you would think that a person in that position would deny that the National Guard would be sent out to take people's guns. But anyway, there is a civil war going on right now, and there are no shots fired that we are aware of. I'm sure if there are, then that is going to be kept from us. They're going to close down communications and keep it a secret as long as they possibly can. But in the meantime, I think it's important that we think about worst case scenarios. What is the government capable of, and how far are they going to go? I would assume that they're going to go all the way. That sounds great, doesn't it? They're going to go all the way. They're going to be absolutely heinous. And the reason I say that is because the folks that are in power over us, they're not us. They are dual citizens or God's chosen people. They are not us. They do not like us. They want us disarmed because they have something nefarious planned. And evil is coming down the pike to get us. I know that sounds a little bit paranoid, but paranoid people live a lot longer. Here's a news article from Mother Jones, the government's secret plan to shut off cell phones and the internet. All right, so this is a violation of the First Amendment. They still have the technology to do this. They have the plan to do it. And if they decide to shut off the internet, the neckbeards are going to come out of their basement, and it's going to be like the zombie apocalypse. I guess the neckbeard apocalypse. And these are probably going to be the most angry people that they don't have their internet because they don't do anything else. They have no interests outside of the internet in the basement. So if the government decides to jam our cell phones at minimum, there are anti-cell phone jamming devices. The cell phone jammers just, they have more power and they override the signal that our cell phones put out so that we can't communicate or record. And then the government can also, or at least the police can also erase your phone. On one of my phones, my old cell phones I had, I was the shitholer deportation task force, and somebody broke into my phone and they erased it. It was all right because it was a phone that I'd already backed up, so it didn't matter. And I was able to put everything back on there. So they can go ahead and erase all my stuff. I don't care. Go ahead, do it. Be my guest. Anyway, so I've been talking to people who are normies who don't watch YouTube videos or talk to anybody. They just sit at home and they listen to Fox News. I've asked them if they knew anything about Virginia, and pretty much they don't. So this is a really, I guess, what do you call this? Are we the dark web or something? A dark web phenomenon? And not a lot of people outside of Virginia who aren't on YouTube or social media know about what's going on in Virginia. And a lot of these people who watch Fox News, they have a hard time with foreigners being the bane of our existence. Now, I've been able to convince my mother that shitholers don't belong in our country and they're here to destroy us. I was pretty surprised. It took me like a few months to get her to convert over, but now she has. And it's pretty great. But anyway, so the shitholers voted the state of Virginia blue, voted most of our states blue. And they voted in this evil government, or evil, I guess, these politicians, because they're just doing it out of spite. And these people come from failed countries, and they're failed people, and they're just here to colonize us. And I have no mercy for these foreigners. They need to go back to their countries and fix it. And I don't even care if these foreigners are nice foreigners. People don't assimilate. There's no such thing as assimilation. You know something? I'm an American, and wherever I go in the world, I will be an American. I will not change my heritage, my culture, my language, my identity for anybody. I'll just be an American. I can't help it. That's who I am. That's just normal. Normal people do that. And the people that I want to be around are going to be other Americans. And I don't apologize for my feelings or my opinions. I don't have to take in foreigners. They have a homeland. They have a heritage, a history. They have everything. They don't need to be here. It's like the messy person who runs away from their messy house and they go someplace clean. All they're going to do is make the new place messy. It's just a chronic problem. Shitholers just turn everything into shit. That's why our country is falling apart. These foreigners represent the proletariat and the proletariat bourgeois struggle. That's why they say that we have white privilege and institutional racism and everything, when it's the racism is against us. The oppression is against us. This is our country. How is it that we've gone so many years with accepting the oppression and we've had so much political power and we just accept it? This just absolutely blows my mind. I'm getting off track here. So pretty much they're the ones that want us dead because we think that we're oppressing them, and, you know, white power and white privilege and the whole crybaby struggle. So in China, they had the proletariats and the bourgeois, and then the proletariats were brainwashed into thinking that the bourgeois were holding them down and keeping them from owning property. So the government went in and killed off all of the bourgeois. The proletariats didn't put up a fight or stand up for any of these people because they were brainwashed into hating them, and they cheered. And then the government gave the proletariat the bourgeois property and all their belongings, and they were happy and they did pretty good. And then one day the government said, well, you know, we changed our mind. We're keeping all this. We're keeping the spoils. And then 60 million of those greedy proletariat ended up starving to death. It was pretty heinous. So these shitholers coming in, they don't see what's coming for them. They think that they're going to come and take over our country. You know, the government comes in, the communist government gets more power, and they're going to round up the progeny American, and they will execute us, as many as they can. And then they will give all of our property to the folks who think that they're oppressed, and maybe for a year or two, and then they'll run it into the ground. And then one day the government's going to come and they're going to say, well, you know what? We want our property back. That was never your property in the first place. And then they're just going to let several million of them die off. You know, cull the population. C-U-L-L, cull. They will all be culled. It's going to be very disgusting. And then the last thing I want to talk about in this video is about training camps, the foreign training camps around the United States. There is a training camp about a couple hours north of me, but I have not personally confirmed that the training camp is there. People I have talked to have said that those training camps are around the United States. And then there was a news story about, remember the Muslims that were in New Mexico, and they had like that one little boy that they killed because they thought he was possessed, and then they emaciated children that they were teaching how to kill adults, whatever. I think that was a training camp, and then the local police arrested everybody, but they were all let go, and then the federal government came in and dismantled the crime scene, something like that. Well, that was probably one of the training camps. That would be kind of a weak training camp, but anyway, so the whole point of this is that the police and the National Guard probably will not be willing to stick their guns in our faces to take our guns and to get us to comply. It will be these foreigners that are going to come out of the woodwork, and these foreigners can hide in the cities, in these larger cities where there's already a bunch of foreigners, because we have a bunch of people that don't know each other, a bunch of people with different accents, and that's where these dangerous people, they hide. And our government has brought them in because our government is not us anymore. You know, we haven't been ruled by our own for quite some time. All right, internet friends, that's it for me. If you're interested in supporting me, go to the About page on the YouTube channel, and there's a bunch of links. if you're interested. If not, that's fine. And in the comment section, if you want to address me by my name, my name is Susie. And welcome to all my new subscribers. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. I look forward to your comments below.